1472, the year of the first edition of La Divina Commedia written by Dante Alighieri. It is also the year we chose for our latest fragrance, a devilishly good journey that is bound to take you from heaven to hell.
1472, our latest fragrance, was inspired by La Divina Commedia, one of the most major and influential works of poetry written by Dante Alighieri at the turn of the 16th century, hence the name. 1472 stands for the first edition of the book. La Divina Commedia is actually comprised of 3 books, Paradiso, Purgatory, and Inferno, and each part of the fragrance corresponds to a specific book. So in 1472, the top notes represent paradise, heaven, and so they're based on an accord of Artemisia, rosemary, and a solar accord including mimosa, heliotrope, and ylang-ylang. And the idea with this accord was really to innate this sense of whiteness, of being basked in a heavenly garden, a new Eden. So you have all of these beautiful flowers, the solar accord, and you actually have the Artemisia, which is very beautiful here, a very beautiful quality that will bring a camphoraceous facet. And this camphoraceous facet, this burst, will actually give you this sense of whiteness, of freshness, of basking in this sort of glistening, cool dew. Now, the heart of 1472 is actually supposed to represent purgatory, and purgatory is quite a difficult thing to represent because it's really a theological and intellectual concept that actually came to be at the time of Dante. So in Dante's book, Purgatory is this winding, spiraling city built in between heaven and hell. And this is actually what we went for in this fragrance. We actually wanted this heart accord to be somewhat of a bridge between the blinding floral light of heaven and the accord that we used in Inferno, in hell. And we did that by using a really beautiful quality of jasmine from LMR, Laboratoire Monique Remitz, one of the leading laboratories for natural materials in perfumery. And we used jasmine because it's a flower that symbolically bears a dichotomy. It's at the same time very virginal, very white, and very nuptial in a way. And at the same time, it's really animalic, and it has this dirty, indolic, chrysolic facet that makes it kind of teeter on the edge of sensuality. And this is really the point about this heart. What you're going to smell is really this heap load of jasmine that's really, really indolic, but not really animalic by some chance and by some work of LMR. And this will actually take us slowly into the base, slowly into this Inferno chord that's based on another really beautiful material that we're going to talk about a little later on. And now here we have somewhat of the star of this fragrance, a magnificent rum absolute. And we overdosed it in our hell accord, in our base accord for this fragrance, because somewhat of a tongue-in-cheek moment happening here, overdosing rum in a fragrance about hell. And that was really Gerald's idea. When you read the Inferno written by Dante, you really read something that smells very foul and sulfuric. And that's not sort of something Gerald wanted. He really wanted hell to be a place where you'd want to go to. And so rather than taking this lusty path, he actually wanted to take the gluttony path, the gourmandise, which is somewhat of a heavenly sin and one we all indulge in sometimes during the day. So that's why we went for this overdose of rum, overdose of booze. And the beauty of it is that rum absolute has 2 facets. It has a very etheric facet, which will actually boost all the notes from the heart and from the top. And then it has this molasses, treacle, caramel, burnt, smoked wood facet that will actually bring a lot of sensuality and a lot of smokiness to the accord that's mainly based on amber and on an ambergris recreation that we did that is absolutely carnal and skin-like and downright dirty. So what this rum does is that it brings a lot of sweetness, the gourmandise, the gluttony, without it being actually sweet. It's not ethyl maltol, it's not vanillin, it's not something meek, it's actually something grown up. So this actually overall ties 1472 together and makes it this sort of floral gourmand, but for grown-ups. So there we are, 1472. It's actually a cheeky, gourmand moment that you'll actually want to bask in, revel in. It's a beautiful scent to wear every day in and every day out, either for, who knows, going on an errand, or if you want to be a little cheeky but still quite classy during the night. I really hope you'll enjoy it. I really hope you will go with us on this journey from heaven to hell.